welcome. And I'm so excited to have you back here. And we're having this again because yesterday something went off and it's not on me. But I want to have a conversation with a woman who has changed my life, a woman I love dearly. Her name is Makosi. And Makosi is my life coach. For those that don't know, I affectionately call her Ma or Coach, depending with the hair she's wearing. But I want you to know that she caused what happened yesterday to happen. So this is what I was being taught. And if you don't know this, you should know it and you should embrace it. Whatever happens in your life is your decision. So maybe I decided it, like we agreed. I had a long conversation with her and she said, I decided it. That the process that happened yesterday was totally within my control. But at the same time, let me tell you this about my life coach. She changes situations and scenarios at a heartbeat. So if she doesn't want to have an interview, she will make something happen on your end. And then you will end up not having the interview. I promise you, she could help you rig an election if you wanted to rig an election. No ballot box, nothing. I don't know. It's the power of spoken word, of the vibration of the things that happen in her mind. I promise you, this woman has coached me to the person I am today. But because her and I are storytellers, we need a story to tell for our life to continuously move and for the process to be absolutely beautiful. So for those that love this show, this is why we are here, A Letter to My Son. And today we are talking about trust the process. And the reason why Makosi is the Africa's #1 life coach, has to talk about trusting the process is not only because she trusted the process, but she helped me with my process, the process of my injury, the process of my accident, the process of my healing. She played a huge part on that particular journey. And in this chapter, it talks, in this book, on the chapter on trust the process, it talks about the process is happening whether you like it or not. Now, you can get this book on Amazon or you can get it directly from me. Now, let's have a chat with Makosi. And here, yesterday was amazing. I can't find her now. And I hope she comes back just now so that I can invite her. Yesterday we had a conversation, and while I wait for her to either send me an invitation or come back on the chat, let me just read through a passage from the book. It says that at every point in your life, there's a process going on, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you approve of it or not. There's a process that is happening, and you must learn to trust it. Always trust the process. Telling you to trust the process right now is encouraging me to trust my healing process. Now, there's a lot of things that happen to us, a lot of things that we experience in our lives. And in these experiences, we go through a particular process. And mine was the healing process that I then engaged Makosi as my life coach. And then, of course, I discovered she's got my mother's totem. And of course, it became a process that she walked with me through healing. The process will not all be the same. Some will take longer than others to be complete, but there is nothing in the world that will not come to an end. I'm learning that it does not take a while for me to get better, because if I accept the process will happen more smoothly. There has to be a process from the start to the end. One thing has to happen for another thing to happen. There are no shortcuts. Everything has to take its time. I have to follow different steps and eventually get my walking again. So trust the stages, the levels, the steps with the process, and then you'll be better and you'll be in a space where you become stronger and life will start to make sense. I know that all the things that happen for you either happen within a season or for a reason. So why we're talking about trusting the processes, there's a lot of things that go on around us, things that we experience around ourselves, things that we know have happened in our lives. And if I were to tell you my story, and of course I'm waiting for Makosi for her to tell her story, that the process she went through cancer, the process she goes through with her clients in the different traumas that we experience, because mostly when something happens to us, that's when something traumatic happens to us. It could be something traumatic in a very significant way. And trauma is not defined by what everybody says trauma is. Trauma is something that you personally say, oh my God, this is what I've actually gone through. This is the trauma that I've experienced. So when we say you should trust the process, there's a beginning of something. Something happens to you for you to enter a process. I'm not sure what process you're going through, what it is that you're going through. It could be a transition in life. It could be you gave birth. It could be you got married, you got injured. It could be you have a terminal illness. Whatever process that is, it could be marriage. It could be as much as walking from one place to the next. That is a process in its own. So there's nothing that you'd say this is so huge or this is so small. A process is something that starts to happen to you. Now, what I've been coached in my life is that a process is a decision that you actually decide to say, this is a process that I am going to enter into. This is a process from decisions that we make at present. Okay, let's break that down. So right now in our lives, there are things that we say and do, things that we feel, things that we have projected, or whatever vortex that you're in that says, this is the thing that I want to do. Now, when you do that, you are making a decision for your future processes. So when you say today, I'm going to talk about such and such or do such and such a thing, what you're basically doing is you're depositing into your future. And when you deposit into your future, it means that the process that you're going to go through is a series of decisions that you've made for yourself in the past. That being said, you have to be truthful to yourself when you're going through a process, when you're going through healing, when you're going through whether it is, elevation, even a promotion. And what usually happens, is we always think that process is only for the negative. No, process also is attached to when you are winning, when you're at the top, when you are celebrating the things that you've achieved. It could be a process of, you've gotten a new baby, you've gotten a new car, you have a new house. All that is a process. And when you receive that process, you need to trust whatever it is and maximize on the process. So there are times when you go into the valley. That is a process. And a lot of people despise the valley, and we start asking ourselves, why me? Why am I experiencing this? Why am I feeling this? It is normal for you to do that. But also when you're at the mountaintop, it's also a process because it took you a while to climb that mountain and get to the top of the mountain. That too is process that you need to celebrate. It's process that you need to embrace. And while you go through anything, it is important for you to learn from that particular process. It's important for you to say, this makes sense to me, and this has taught me to be better. This has taught me to be more aware of the things that I do, to be more aware of the things that I say. And it is what we want all of us to then learn today, to say, what is it about life that has brought us to this particular process? Hey, Nikki. So I'm waiting for Makosi, and I hope she comes back. I saw her at the beginning, and I'm just waiting for her to join this particular live. But in the event that she doesn't, it is absolutely necessary for you to embrace whatever process that you're going through, to celebrate whatever process that you're going through, to also live your truth in the process that you're going through. Also take responsibility. We all have responsibility for what it is that we do. We all have responsibility. So there's nothing like I am the victim in this situation. In as much as you could have been drawn in to being a victim at that particular point, it doesn't take away the responsibility or the part you played for you to end up into the situation that you are in, or the process, hey Bishop, the process that you're actually going through at that particular moment. So there are times when you need to audit yourself to say, does this make sense? What has happened to me? What part did I play in the process for me to end up where I am, to end up in a situation where I have to be hospitalized for a whole year, to end up in a situation where I have to decide whether or not I want to walk or not to walk. So it's a journey that you enter, but within that journey, you also realize the part you played. Even when there's separation or letting go of situations or letting go of a season, you also realize that, okay, this is the part that I played in the process, and this is the part that I accept to have played. Learn from those mistakes, learn from those responsibilities that, learn from that responsibility that you take, so that the next time you encounter anything like that, you will not be caught wanting because you're not accepting whatever that situation is. So I am in actual awe of this, and I'm not sure what is happening to Makosi, and I hope she is out there trusting the process. And I also trust the process. Whichever way this goes, the process does not change. The process is, you need to be a better person for yourself. Choose to win all the time, and choose to know that life is a series of the decisions that you make on your own. The decisions that you then make impact the actions that you take, and the actions that you take then decide the lifestyle that you're going to live. So there is no victim in anything that happens in life. There is no victim, because if you premeditate and you see and you plan your life through to say, this is what I'm going to do, or this is what I'm not going to do, or this is who I'm going to be friends with, or this is who I'm not going to be friends with, or this is the job I'm going to take, or the job I'm going to reject. It's a series of decisions. It's only, the thing is, people do things obliviously. They want to not take responsibility. They want to always say, woe is me, or why is me, and always make it seem like it was completely up to you. There's a Shona proverb that says, you need to know that whatever you encourage, it will come back to you. Whatever you allow to happen will come back to you. Whatever it is that you say, I carelessly make decisions on this, that, and the other, you're trusting your own process. But it's what we don't want is for people to live their whole lives acting like victims, or people going through their whole lives saying life is rigged against me, because life is never rigged against anybody. Life is you are. And when it says life and death is the power of the tongue, it's the things you say, it's the things you confess, it's the things that not only you say to yourself, it's the things that you confess and say to other people, it's the things that you project into the universe, it's the things that you continuously harbor on, that includes the things that you watch, the things you read, the places you hang out. So you can't say, I don't have an opportunity, when you don't know that you are actually the opportunity. You are the opportunity, and where you decide to hang out is where you encounter the next opportunity, where you decide to go and read a book or have a meal, or where you decide to go and buy this or the other. That is what determines the process. So we should stop being completely unaware of what we are doing. We should be more present, and we should be more involved in what we do. Let's hear what Say Guns wants. If she doesn't show up on this one, then I'm gonna close and trust the process that we got this. Okay, Say Guns just aborted mission. But that's all. That's all that I wanted to say. That's all that I wanted to encourage you. If I get a chance to speak to Makosi, if the process allows, then we'll definitely make sure that Makosi becomes part of this conversation and that we learn to be. So please do get a copy of this book. And I'm also going to upload this on my YouTube channel. So Christina, find it on YouTube. Please also subscribe, like it, and comment on it. And this book, you can get it personally from me. It's only $10, and it's way cheaper on ebook, of course, on Amazon. Just type Tendai Garwe and A Letter to My Son, 40+1 lessons will definitely come up. And of course, I'm scheduled to have an interview with my son. I'm working on that for whenever he is available. So thank you so much. And remember, mask up, take care of yourself, and have a good evening.